I think this is the best way we could have celebrated 30 years.
The year 2023 marks the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. Power Rangers, a show about 6 teenagers with attitude assigned to save the world from invading monsters from outer space by wearing colorful spandex and riding giant robots. It's a cheesy show for people who enjoys a lot of cheese, like myself. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was the start of my exposure to the world of tokusatsu. If it weren't for Power Rangers, I would have never known the likes of Super Sentai, which was what Power Rangers are based of. I also would have never known Kamen Riders, which is my favorite among all of the tokusatsus out there. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, I'm going to cover a very underrated Power Rangers game for the Sega Game Gear. In the last episode of Underrated Fighting Game Showcase, I have covered the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game on the Sega Game Gear. In this episode, we are going to cover the sequel, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, for the Sega Game Gear. I'm not going to go in-depth when it comes to the developmental history of the game, since I have done that in the last video. However, I'm going to do a quick recap nonetheless. Both Mighty Morphin Power Rangers games on the Sega Game Gear were developed by SIMS. SIMS, which stands for Soft Development Innovation Multi-Success, is a Japanese developer studio under Sega Enterprises. Outside of the Sega Game Gear Power Rangers games, SIMS developed games such as Ninja Gaiden for the Sega Master System and Shadow Dancer for the Sega Genesis. Now, the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game is based off Season 1 of the TV show. The game's story ended with the final episode of Season 1. The sequel, as the title suggests, is based on some parts of Season 2 and the 1995 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. The gameplay and presentation are not much different from the previous game. As I said in the last video covering the first game, the sprite works are really well done. Although it's an 8-bit handheld game, SIMS did a really good job providing the details of character sprites. Rangers are not just the same model with different colors, unlike in the SNES games. You have 3 modes as well in this game, just like in the previous one: Story Game, Versus Game, and Link Game. In the previous game, you start off with 5 Rangers to play as, and then unlock the Green Ranger as a playable character. In this game, however, you have all 6 Rangers as playable characters from the start of the story game. This time, Tommy Oliver is the White Ranger instead of the Green Ranger. Again, I'm not going to discuss too much on the gameplay mechanics here since I already covered it on my previous episode. I suggest you check that video out when you are done watching this video. This episode of Underrated Fighting Game Showcase is not just going to be a 30th anniversary tribute to Power Rangers. I want this episode to also be a tribute to the late Jason David Frank, who no doubt is one of the most important actors for the Power Rangers franchise as a whole. Jason David Frank is Power Rangers, no question. His character, Tommy Oliver, will always be synonymous to Power Rangers. To honor the late Jason David Frank, during the showcase, I'm going to be playing as the White Ranger from start to finish. As I always said, this video's purpose is to show all of you lovely people out there fighting games that you may have never heard of. Without further ado, this is me, Profar, and...
Let's do it, guys! Right. It's Morphin time!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the gameplay showcase of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie for the Sega Game Gear. As I explained previously, there are 3 modes in this game, very similar to that of the previous game, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the regular one. So yeah, you got Story Game, Versus Game, Link Game, which is for multiplayer or 2-player gameplay with another Sega Game Gear user. So we're gonna play the Story Game, like I said. We're gonna play as Tommy Oliver, the White Ranger, for the entire playthrough. Now, I want to show the characters first before we begin the Story Game. This game has less characters than the previous game, the first one. But, okay, so most of the designs, at least for the main 5 Rangers, are the same moveset-wise. They're also more or less the same. There is one difference in this game, which I'm gonna show you as we actually play the game. So let's go over the roster first. We got Red Ranger, who is Rocky this time instead of Jason. The Black Ranger, who is Adam, played by Johnny Young Bosch instead of Zach. Blue Ranger is still Billy. Pink Ranger is still Kimberly. The Yellow Ranger is now Aisha instead of Trini. and Tommy Oliver as the White Ranger. Now, in the previous game, he was the Green Ranger. Now he's the White Ranger, which I prefer the White Ranger, by the way. I like Die Ranger's Kibadayo design better than the Green Ranger. I forgot the name. Dragon Ranger. Yeah. So we got 2 Megazords, Thunder Megazord, and the Ninja Mega Falcon Zord. So, you know, when you look at it this way, Ninja MF Zord, it sounds like, or it sounds like it's pronounced Ninja Motherfucking Zord. And no, it's not Ninja Motherfucking Zord. It's pronounced Ninja Mega Falcon Zord. Now, I wish, okay, since we have the Thunder Megazord and the White Ranger, I wish the White Tiger Zord was in the game, but I don't know why they left out the White Tiger Zord. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's just one thing missing in this game is that I wish the White Tiger Zord is playable. I mean, in the previous game, you have the Green Ranger has its own Zord, the Dragon Zord. You even have the Dragon Zord Fire Formation, which is the Dragon Zord combined with the rest of the main Ranger Zords. So I don't know why you don't have White Tiger Zord or even White Mega Tiger Zord. It is what it is. I wish that character was playable, but whatever. You got the new Putty Patrols, the Z Putties. Goldar makes a comeback. More or less still the same moveset. Beamcaster, which is a monster in Season 2. The Jaws of Destruction. Oozeman, which is Ivan Ooze's version of the Putties, or his henchman. You got the Hornitron, but you don't... they don't have I think it's Scorpitron, the other Ectomorphicon. I think it's because he doesn't have like a humanoid form. Instead, he's literally shaped like a scorpion, but whatever. He's not playable. And again, it's one of the characters I wish that was playable just because so that you have a complete roster in the game. Especially when your game is called Mighty Morphin Power Ranger the movie. Scorpitron is still an important character in the movie alongside with Hornitron. Now, wait, Hornitron. That sounds wrong, isn't it? Hornitron. Oh my god, that sounds wrong. And the final boss, Ivan Ectomorphicon. So basically, this Ivan Ooze fused with Hornitron. Now, in the movie, he only fused with Hornitron, but in this game, he fused both with Hornitron and Scorpitron. So yeah, that's it. That's the total character of the game. And now, let's go to the actual gameplay. Right, now we're back at the main menu. So let's go to the story game. So yeah, like I said, so you have 6 stages in this game. Okay, first boss is Beamcaster. You have 6 stages in this game. The first 3 stages are adapted from episodes from season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, while the last 3 stages, 4, 5, and 6, were adapted from the movie. So again, you have 6 Rangers playable from the start. In the previous game, like I said, you only have 5 playable, and then the Green Ranger is unlockable. So with this gameplay, we're gonna play as Tommy Oliver. I love this song, Fight, from the... It's an 8-bit version of the actual soundtrack from the show. So yeah, that's another thing I noticed in this game, is that the music in this game are 8-bit versions of what they have in the show. So UI, I think UI is better here. That's just my opinion. The UI is better here than in the previous game. So, like usual, you have punch, kick. 1 is punch, 2 is kick, and 1, 2 is a strong attack. Now, you notice on the right side of my health bar, there is a Thunder logo, the Power Ranger Thunder logo. Now, that is actually an ultimate or super attack. So if you fill that up, you can perform a super attack. Now, to perform a super attack, you have to press down, forward, 1 and 2. Now, here it is. Let me show you. It's a little tricky. Oh, no. No, not that one. There you go. It stuns him. I like his down, forward kick. Look. It's basically Liu Kang's bicycle kick. Okay, finishing blow. There you go. Not too shabby. Now, I will say this. In normal difficulty, this game is really hard, especially when you play versus game. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like this game is more difficult than the previous game. Right, gonna fight with the Megazord. The Thunder Megazord. Once again, I wish when you play as the White Ranger, you get the White Tiger Zord instead, or the White Tiger Megazord. I mean, I like this Zord. Thunder Megazord, which is an adaptation of Die Ranger, the Daireno. Again, but I prefer the White Tiger Zord, of course. And again, nothing against this Zord. The Zord is still cool. I like the sword. Oh, he's kicking my ass. Take this. Go, go, Power Rangers. Okay. This game is still really good to play, even until today. I missed the super. Yeah, you can miss the super. It's only temporary. Okay, one more final blow. There you go. You're finished, Beamcaster. More phenomenal. Oh yeah, speaking of characters, I wish Lord Zed is a playable character in the game. Considering this is season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Right. I also noticed one thing about some of the character designs, like the putties, the Zords, and the Ectomorphicon, Hornytron, and even Ectomorphicon. I think they use the same models as the Genesis version, except scaled down to 8-bit. Again, for an 8-bit game, this is a really well-made fighting game. You might think I'm simping for this game so much. Well, I am. I mean, there's nothing wrong about simping for a fighting game. If it's good, it's good. Do a Liu Kang bicycle. Ouch. Ow. Darn it. Darn Goldar. Oh, that's just... Yeah, if you didn't know, this was also derived from the show. Alright, so... Come on, Goldar. I really like that bicycle kick. Okay, let's see. Gotcha. That stuns him. I missed. As I was saying, Sims did a really good job for making an 8-bit fighting game. I wish more people know about this game. To me, this is one of the best games for the Sega Genesis. I said Sega Genesis. I meant Game Gear. Sorry. I think this song is called We Need a Hero from the actual soundtrack of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. One thing I appreciate this game more... again, I like both games. Sometimes I like to go for the first game, sometimes I like to go this one, but... most times, I would go for this one. Just because, one, you have the White Ranger, and you have soundtracks from the actual Mighty Morphin Power Ranger show. Roster is lacking though, but I feel like the overall gameplay, well, gameplay is very similar. Just the minor change, the fact that you can do a super attack, makes this game slightly better. Also, story mode is, or story game is rather short compared to the first game. Oh. Oh. Careful. Oh. Yeah, this can be really tricky. Ah, gotcha. That's his super. One more! Ah, no. Got that tornado slash on him. Third stage. The Jaws of Destruction. We're not gonna play the third stage, okay? I think 2 stages with 4 battles are enough. So yeah, I think that's it for the gameplay showcase. Now, before I come back to the video, I would like to recommend you guys, when you're done watching this video, do watch my previous showcase of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Game Gear. I discussed the gameplay mechanics a little bit more detail in that video. So if you want to watch an in-depth breakdown of how the mechanics work, I suggest you watch that video out. But for now, let's go back to the video. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your quick dose of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie for the Sega Game Gear. We have covered both Mighty Morphin Power Rangers games for the Sega Game Gear. The Sega Game Gear has a lot of hidden gems in its library, and these 2 games are good examples. In fact, I honestly believe that the 2 Power Rangers games may be the 2 best games on the system. These are the games that I often go back to when I play the Sega Game Gear. As a tokusatsu fan and a fighting game fan, I highly recommend this game. I also plan to cover more tokusatsu games for Underrated Fighting Game Showcase. As a matter of fact, I do want to cover more tokusatsu games in general. A lot of them I do believe deserves more attention. Anyways, I'm getting out of tangent. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Underrated Fighting Game Showcase. I also hope that I did my best to honor the late Jason David Frank. There wouldn't be any Power Rangers without him. Part of my life as a tokusatsu fan and a Power Ranger fan was all because of Jason David Frank. So, what are your thoughts on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie for the Sega Game Gear? Let me know in the comment section below. With that being said, this is me, Profar. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give me a thumbs down. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, join the Profar Mokori Hunter X Discord server. I'll see you guys in the next video.